So again, physiologically, you've created a certain amount of anxiety, a certain amount of uncertainty, and that again is the building block to get our system revved up to help protect ourselves in this environment.
Everyone around me was screaming at the dinosaurs, but it was awesome. I mean, they're everywhere.
If we look at the two ladies on the right-hand side of the screen, the one that is probably the most physiologically active in this particular frame is our lady on the right. You can see that she's closing her eyes. She's not too sure that she wants to get involved in this anymore. And look at how big her eyes are. She's ready to say, I've been immersed enough. But that type of anxiety will make her extremely revved up psychologically and physiologically. But look at the smile she has now. It's over. She's done it. And she's probably going to want to communicate this to her friends and share the experience, because now it's a fun memory.
The dinosaurs just kept jumping out from left and right, and I just could not stop screaming. I think I lost my voice.
I think the fact that you see the dinosaurs so briefly, you're in the dark, you come upon them, I think that's part of the power and the fear factor of this ride.
I mean, there's a lot of physical action going on. You are being shaken and stirred, but you really need to indulge the fantasy to get the full impact of what's going on, and that makes it a story ride.
One of the tremendously exciting things and scary things about the dinosaurs is that they are so real. It's huge, it's scary, it's clearly after you.
If I didn't know any better, I would say that all of the dinosaurs in there were real. My favorite is the big guy eating this little guy. He's just completely chewing him up.
You believe that they are living creatures in order to receive that feeling of thrill that comes from the idea that they might eat you.
Theming or storytelling through using characters can really be even more frightening than just moving fast or just dropping quickly.
Theming becomes important in a thrill ride when some aspect of the thrill comes from willful suspension of disbelief. We need to get you to believe in something in order for the thrill to operate upon you. In the case of dinosaur, you need to believe in the dinosaurs.
When we set out to build the dinosaurs, we knew that the more real they were, the more frightening they would be. These figures not only were large, but they needed to be able to move quickly.
The audio animatronics creatures use mechanical actuation systems. You'll find that in everything from a small tiki bird, to a pirate, to a dinosaur.
The dinosaurs, however, are huge, need to move fast, and so we went all the way up to 2,500 pounds of pressure for the hydraulic system. So if you think of a pirate running at 500 psi pressure and a dinosaur running at 2,500 pounds, it's a tremendous difference.
So Dinosaur takes you back in time, while Tower of Terror drops you 13 stories. Yet they're both thrill rides. What's up with that?
I think the definition of a thrill ride is when the unexpected happens to you.
The thrill ride should be an experience that lifts our biochemistry as well as our spirits, with the story, with the illusion, with the art, with everything about it. A great thrill ride, you should see the people coming off the ride and they should be energized. They should be more alive than ever before.
And it's the adrenaline rush. Oh.
That's what thrill rides are all about.
Up next, a thrill ride with a whole lot of attitude going on. The Walt Disney World Resort. Its 4 theme parks have some of the world's wildest thrill rides.
You have to really wonder why human beings like thrill rides. I mean, why would you seek out a terrifying experience or the illusion of danger?
Deep in their brain, in their hippocampus, there's a primitive need for adrenaline rushes and excitement, because this awakens primitive cycles that have been dormant over the years. And as we evolve, we don't use these enzymatic systems anymore.
People want to be scared. People's got a humongous wish to whoosh out there.
Human beings are funny animals. We always want bigger, faster. We always want to push our limits. And a thrill ride lets you do that in a safe environment.
Coaster. For a lot of us, it's the first thing we think of when it comes to thrill rides. And at Disney MGM Studios, you'll find a coaster with a catapult launch and attitude. It's called Rockin' Roller Coaster, starring Aerosmith, an indoor coaster with a half-mile of insane twists, turns, corkscrews, 3 loops, and all rockin' in the dark.
Rockin' Roller Coaster represented many firsts for Walt Disney World. It was the first launching coaster, first roller coaster that was timed synchronously to music, and it was the first roller coaster that had inversions.
It's also the first time that Disney worked a rock band into a ride. In this case, Aerosmith.
You get to experience a complete story in a thrill ride format. Getting to meet Aerosmith, go with the band to the concert, go through the city of Hollywood in a really fantastic, magic way.
The ride begins at the G-Force Record Studios, where you run into Aerosmith at a recording session. The band invites you to their concert, but hurry, it's about to start. So you climb into a super stretch limo and speed off into the Hollywood night to get to the concert in time.
Utilizing a rock band to tell the story was critically important to the success of this ride experience.
But the real star here is the catapult launch. That's where your limo coaster takes you from 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. Now that's a launch. Risky? No way. In fact, pulling G's like these or any sort of thrill or thrill ride might actually be therapeutic.
A thrill ride has the ability to energize, refresh, and heal your body by waking up dormant biochemical pathways that are sleeping within your body, and it sort of wakes you up, gives you this real adrenaline rush, and it actually has the ability to improve your health.
The cell wall actually has been shown to become stronger through stress. And so by stimulating the stress cycle, it allows the cell walls of your body to become stronger by being allowed to go through a successful cycle.
Experts can now map those physical effects through something called a stress cycle, a 4-step process we all go through during intense situations, like riding thrill rides.
The first step of the stress cycle is relaxation. That's our normal state. The next step is alarm. That's that sudden panic when all of a sudden you feel threatened. The third step is fight-flight. And then finally, the fourth step is resolution and release. That's where we feel good. The reason we feel so great to be walking around a theme park is that we've been on a thrill ride, and that has stirred up all of the chemicals, and the chemical effect on us lasts a lot longer than the ride does. So as a result, we're walking around feeling great. The brain is luxuriating in oxygen, and there's lots of sugar in your system and other things that make you feel good. So you get this sense of euphoria.
Usually when I come to the parks, I'm the one sitting on the bench outside taking pictures of my friends when they go on the roller coaster because I'm just too scared to go. But today, I'm going to put my fears aside and I'm going to just go for it.
I've never been on this ride, and the truth is, I'm terrified.
But as an engineer, the part that I find the most fascinating is that initial takeoff. It accelerates the car from 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. A Lamborghini accelerates from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, so that's pretty fast.
Each roller coaster train is unique in itself. It's customized with its own music track, and the sound system had to really envelop the riders. So we've got over 120 speakers in each train that totally encompasses the guests as they ride through Hollywood.
This ride was awesome. I mean, you're going so fast and there's so many twists and turns. The black lights are cool. I can see why my friends love this ride.
I had my eyes shut at first because I was so scared, and then I just couldn't wait. I opened my eyes and I was corkscrewing upside down and screaming at the top of my lungs.
What a rush. That didn't feel like a limo. That felt like a rocket ship taking off.
As they step off of a thrill ride, they ought to look like they've had this giant surge of energy. They ought to be more alive than at any other time. That would be the marker of a great thrill ride.
Coming up, a little car thrill ride? What's that? And later, the closest your butt will ever get inside a rocket. Our thrill riders have been dropped, shaken, and stirred. What else can we throw at them? Epcot, originally conceived as a prototype community of the future. It is home to Spaceship Earth and World Showcase. It's also where you'll find Test Track, a mile-long thrill that gives you a peek inside the world of automobile testing, including a suspension test, brake test, climate tolerance, a corrosion test, ride and handling, a barrier test, and a high-speed test. Oh, and it's also a thrill ride.
One of the things very unique to Test Track is that most attractions, or many attractions, try and create fantasy. What Test Track is doing is actually trying to replicate reality. The question of, is Test Track a thrill ride? I believe it is. Again, thrill rides are to give people an experience that they can't get anywhere else, and especially an experience that in normal circumstances would be very dangerous.
Test Track doesn't have the spectacular drops and big double loops that other thrill rides have, but it has other things. The illusion that you're going to be crashed into a wall, the moment when you are frozen, the place where you spin out on the ABS brake test. Those kinds of things not only are very satisfying to the mind, but they also have that physical thrill.
Test Track is a thrill ride because it goes so fast. It's a ride about speed, and most rides don't go that fast, and that fast in a really small little vehicle.
Here they're getting into what they will expect will be a typical Test Track experience. Nothing earth-shattering. You can see they're all laughing. So that's another indication that they're fairly relaxed. She's taking off her sweater. And again, we see here smiles all around.